Yo, what's good? What's good? It's your boy Sonny Winters, and I'm back with another edition, chopping it up again, as usual, my guy. If it's your first time tapping in, welcome. You know what I'm saying? Hit the subscribe button. Stick around for a while. I think you enjoy yourself. If it's not your first time tapping in, welcome back. You know what I'm saying? Definitely want to put out there how
A
it go.
disclaimer.
How it go? The views and expressions. No, not that one. Oh, this content is intended for mature audiences only. This content is intended for mature audiences only. You know what I'm saying? It may contain language and graphic materials. Viewer discretion is advised.
Viewer discretion is advised.
What's good, bro?
Chilling, bro. A lot going on in the world today, man. A lot happened over the week. It's crazy.
It's early in the morning. What time is it right now?
It is 8:27. It is April 19th, 2023.
8:27 a.m.
See if we can catch this wave on this algorithm. See how this works out.
Yeah, you can see how it work out. Let me just. So what's good? What's going on? I said when you hit me, right? I first thing I did is start laughing. I said, if I get a missed call from you at certain times of the day, I know what it means, right? So I got this one. I said, I had to look at the clock. I said, damn. And I went to go look at the news. I said, what the fuck? What the hell is going on right now? And then I said, no, don't even do that. Don't even do that. Then I hit you. The first thing you say is, yo, let's go try to see what the algorithm we're talking about, right?
Yeah.
So I said, hold up, I ain't ready for this dude. This dude he got something cooking. I said, let me go and see what's going on. I said, I don't know. It seemed like the chatter waves is quiet this morning on all the spots I go to, the AP News and the different places. So I said, let me see. I'm not even going to do no pre-game, no pre-homework, no nothing. I'm going to see what the boy talk about.
So, I don't know. You obviously said you ain't looking to too much, right? So,
yeah.
Just recently, remember, I think we had spoke something real light on the situation about the Chinese having precincts in New York City, right?
Right. I remember you say that, but refresh the people. I remember that conversation.
So there was a situation where China pretty much, was acknowledging the fact that they set up a precinct in New York City and other states as well.
Like a
But
police precinct or like what?
like a Chinese police precinct, yeah, like a foreign precinct in America. You know what I'm saying? I think it was two other cities. I can't don't quote me, but there were two other cities that were definitely on the map with the Chinese
like
precincts
and all that.
I'm not sure if they had weapons, to be honest with you. I just know that they were gathering a lot of intel and they were in touch with a lot of people that were higher up on the chain command in China. And I think it was yesterday or the day before yesterday, the FBI ran down on them and arrested two of them. And then I think they actually put out indictments for Chinese diplomats or Chinese politicians somewhere in China. I'm gonna try to pull it up now.
It's really up with these. It's really up, or they just trying to make it seem like it's really up with these cats. Because I mean, Chinese American history. Sheesh. I mean, Asian American history in general probably isn't all that pretty. Like you know, what I'm saying, there was a lot going on when they came. It was.
I just did something. You can see something real quick. You can see that?
It's on the screen. I just put it up on the screen.
Okay, copy. So how do I get in with this? All right. So that's that.
There's no volume on it though.
There's no volume on it.
No, I don't hear no volume on it.
So how do I do that? Bear with me. I apologize for all those who are just now getting into conversation.
No, we good though because it's going on. This is on a lot more be on the replay or these. We figured it out as we go. We never said we was professionals. You know what I mean?
Now, yeah, we definitely figured it out as we go. So how do you do the sound on here?
I don't know. for me, I think what happens is when I do it, I gotta like the way my joint like how can I say it? Like my monitor was like a old, well, not old, but it was my old TV. So it has a speaker on the bottom. But then I got my mic. I got my external mic right here on my desk. So I think what happens is it plays out of this speaker, and then you can hear it into the mic. That's what I'm thinking.
Well, if you can you pull that up?
Well, if okay, yeah, I can do that. What was that?
That was YouTube, and I think, hold on, let me get this. We're talking about New York City Chinese police station could have been used for influence. And that's on Fox Business. I mean, that's what pulled up on Mars.
Chinese police station could use. Let's see something else here. But we'll open this up and see what's going on. StreamYard.
Oh, and that building that collapsed yesterday over there in Lower Manhattan too.
I did see that. I did see that. All right, let's see here. Let's get some sound here.
Okay, yeah. You might have to turn your speakers off.
Acting as Chinese.
Turn what?
You might have to turn your speakers off, your physical speakers, and then let that play. I'm not sure because I hear echo. I'm just saying.
Targeting and harassing U.S. citizens.
You good?
Nondescript
You good?
office building in the heart of bustling Chinatown in Lower Manhattan has a dark secret.
U.S. officials claim the Chinese government has set up more than 100 secret police stations around the world, including one in Lower Manhattan, using Chinese MPS police officers to monitor, harass, and even repatriate Chinese citizens living in exile, including a man in California.
The Chinese National Police appear to have been using the station to track a U.S. resident on U.S.
That's New York City right there.
Imagine
Yeah.
NYPD opening an undeclared secret police station in Beijing. It would be unthinkable.
Today, the FBI announced the arrest of 61-year-old Lu Jinwei and 59-year-old Chen Jinping, who officials say tried to destroy evidence of their communications.
So basically, they're extorting people. So if you left from China or you got low in America, whatever the case may be, they pretty much putting tabs on you and they reporting you back to the mainland of China. That's kind of crazy, you heard?
It damn sure is, bro.
Yeah, that's the one right there, the top one. That's the one I was looking at earlier. But yeah.
Department of Justice has arrested for setting up and operating a secret Chinese police station in New York City. This is something that I have been reporting on now for months. The fact that the CCP set up a Chinese police station.
Yeah, that echo is fierce.
What do we say about? What does this say about? What does this say about security?
It's a lot easier than you would think, or a lot of most people don't think. But you got to remember, for me, right? And I don't want to give up too much, because it seems like us as citizens that lived in New York and we from New York City, there's a lot of flaws in the system where it comes to that whole thing where they started with the Patriot Act and 9/11. I mean, we can go into that, man. That I believe that was an inside kind of situation. But yeah, man, it's crazy because it's so easy to infiltrate and just because this is the land of the free. You could do pretty much what you want, and it's just people are gonna just bypass because everybody's in their own world. Nobody's really like paying attention. That's kind of crazy right there, bro. To set up a precinct in New York City, and it's been there for how long? Months. That's
I mean, they saying it's been there for months, but I mean, who knows how long that's been in the works? Who knows how long that was, planned out before they even got to that point? You know what I'm saying? Before they even got to the point where they set up shop, they was getting people in the country, setting up the. That's crazy. That's a crazy lapse in security. I mean, we saying that they extorting and they dealing with their own issues and their own culture and their own people, but it makes one think, like, you know what I'm saying, what else slips through those cracks?
So what's crazy is I'm gonna shift it just a little bit, word. Like, you ever notice that a lot of people from the Middle East now all of a sudden speak Spanish?
People from the middle, yeah, that's true.
Now check this. At first, like for me, I'm always leery. I'm always there's something. I want to know something. There's something. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
when that happened, I'm like, oh, they coming through Mexico and all that. They that's another route that they coming through if they can't come through any other way, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, okay, that you got to pick up the language because you got to travel and all that, because that's a hot trek, bro. That trek is that shit is not for the weak of heart, bro. It's not for the faint of heart at all. That trek is crazy.
Which trek you talking about?
Coming across the border through Mexico.
Oh, right.
Now, recently, Mexico has got an influx of Chinese immigrants coming through the Mexican border. So I seen recently a Chinese man speaking Spanish and Arabic, bro. Like, this is what they did. If you come in here, you know what I'm saying, you got to get in through the doors, you know what I'm saying? And those are the ones that pretty much got the ins and outs on what's happening through the back door or underneath, you feel me?
So you say this is a thing, or this is something that you've seen and
No, this is a thing. This is what's happening. Like, Chinese are coming through the Mexican border and they speaking Arabic and Spanish, bro.
That's crazy.
If that don't raise some red flags, I don't know. Bro.
I mean, big salute to the Chinese, in general, because I mean, there's some ill students, right? I always think about that.
Without a doubt.
From school, right? They some ill students. Like I remember one time hearing an argument, not even an argument, like a light debate on the train with some young students, and it was like not beefing with each other, but kind of trying to help each other get. Man, like what? You got an A-? Like, I got a great tutor, and my mom can tell your mom how to get this. And the way they was just talking to each other, I'm just like, wow, this is some encouraging. This is
networking.
Right, and it was. I don't know. I was older, so I think everybody looks young once they're like younger than my kids' ages type, right? But my point is that it don't really surprise me that they would do that. Like, I saw a thing, I think I told you before, where they set up a map, and it was on Netflix. And when they come to the country, it's two zones, the map, east, west. One was in like St. Louis, one was in wherever, right? And then they would pinpoint where the need was at in the country, and the efficiency in the way they did this was so impressive because they literally was bringing people in and putting them where they needed them to pretty much dominate the food culture in America and to put themselves in position like a pyramid. How we call it always a pyramid scheme in this country, but it was like a pyramid, bro. Like, literally, like, all right, Billy Badass, you're gonna come in and you're gonna work in this kitchen over here because we need you in Seattle right now. But after you do this for 8 months, you're gonna go to this kitchen over here, then you're gonna be a manager. You're gonna take them with you. But then by the time you go through this process, you're gonna have your own kitchen over here somewhere in West Virginia. You understand? And it was breaking down just like that. So I thought that was pretty ill. That showed me their efficiency. So if it's a route that they're taking, like Mexico or whatever route they're taking, I can see that. I can see them being students of the land, students of the game, you know what I'm saying, observing laws of nature.
You ain't got no choice.
Yeah, and just adapting to what they got to adapt to.
Word. And it's funny that you say that to trying to kind of mesh this like with the Jews and all that. They got a word for that. I can't remember the exact word, but even though they buy in their community. So Dimitri's got the goods, you heard, but he's just starting. And he's trying to figure out the kinks, and even though he messed up on a delivery, or the product is not as good as it should be, with the Jewish community, no matter what, yo, we're not gonna buy from nobody else. Yo, we're gonna keep on buying from you. But this is the problem. You need to fix it.
Right.
And they continue to buy from that person, so
Right.
that person keeps on coming up and get better and better, because you're as strong as your weakest link, bro.
Right.
And that's
And
one hell of a thing.
benefit on hands wash, hands keep hands clean. They used to say.
Hey, both hand, one hand wash the other, both wash the face. You heard?
Yeah,
There's a bigger picture. You heard?
Yeah, and it's received differently in those communities too, because it's understood that, you know what I'm saying, when you know, if I go to the store and I tell somebody, yo, look, bro, you know, like these bananas, like you gotta da 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 da, it's not taking on a defensive, and bigger than that, especially in the Jewish communities, you know, the accountants and the countless amount of behind the scenes stuff that people could come in that a lot of other cultures would feel as invasive. People will come in and say, listen, let's look at these books and let me show you how we can turn this up right here, because we can use this, because I was thinking about opening up this type of store right next door anyway. So if I can help you with these books. And a lot of coaches, that's like, yo, mind your business. Like, you all in my books. How I'm gonna show you my books and my business and my money and all that. You know what I mean? But in certain communities, like the Jewish community, it don't be alive. It don't be alive without Zulu. Yo, Zulu, chill out, bro.
He went in on the conversation too. You heard? You muted. You heard? But yeah, that's a thing, man. That's actually a thing within certain, you know, tribes and communities and you know, sects. No, they have that idea of, you know, we got to work together to make this work, because I can't just do it by myself. You know what I'm saying? So they have that idea and that philosophy on where it comes into play, where everybody's going to eat, so we all can eat collectively. You know what I'm saying? In a whole.
But you know what's pardon me, go ahead.
No, go ahead, bro.
You know what's funny, man? I thought about it. I thought about it partly in the conversation that you had sent me a while ago that you was involved with, and I thought about that just now. I think, and you tell me what you think, right? And I think a common misconception, right? Because we keep saying, you said cultures, communities, and I was over there. You said, I heard you mention the word tribes, right? Mm-hmm. We all come from different tribes, right? And when we say Jewish community, they're like, I want to say religious or spiritual group, right?
So, a religious sect.
I was going to say religious sect, right? So I think a misconception is that white people in general have one thinking and one mind. You understand what I'm saying? And like black people have it messed up. This one has it messed up. And I think that's a misconception, because I feel like white people are just as divided amongst themselves, correct me if I'm wrong, as everybody else, and aren't, you know what I'm saying? Because I just...
So for me, I really can't speak on a Caucasians. You heard on white people. You heard, I really know much about any of that shit, other than they scare the fuck out of me and they're evil. You know what I'm saying? I know that sounds crazy, but I've seen the atrocities that they've committed. You know, but I was gonna say earlier, that damn, I lost it because I was just thinking about that whole shit. But I was gonna say earlier that, you know, when it comes to the Jewish community, they have a trauma bond that brung them together, respectfully. You heard? So they have this unity and togetherness because of the traumas that their ancestors and the people before them encountered, right? So they're going off of a philosophy, trauma, and, you know, oppression. So they're real to themselves, and it created a trauma bond in a good way.
But is a trauma bond selective though? Because I feel like everybody has trauma bonds. Like
it all depends. It all depends.
Have their whole land stolen. You know what I'm saying? Oppression. You know what I'm saying?
But they don't. So we can get it. We can go deep into that right now. With Mexico, it's like, you got to remember, they divided and conquered. You know what I'm saying? There were different tribes and sects. The Jewish, in totality, they go to their root foundation of the Holocaust. You know what I'm saying? So That's like their foundation of the trauma bond. Now, where it comes to Mexico, you know, they were different tribes. You had the Mayas, the Incas, and all these different tribes that were warring against each other. And then when Columbus and the Crusaders came and all that shit, it just made it even easier for them to take over that parts of the land. So it's like Willie Lynch. He created a trauma bond, but it was a separated bond. You feel me? Like he created division in on itself. So if and not to compare the two, but you know, because they're nowhere near the same at all. You know what I mean? But it goes back to that trauma and how it's either fueled to be better or fueled to be divided.
Yeah. Fuel to slow you down too.
You got to remember they say that Willie Lynch was a figment of a story, or it was a made up person, or whatever the case may be. Whether he was made up or not, man, that whole calculated devise of his program, they said that shit was gonna work for 400 or 500 years after they put it into effect, and it's still to an extent. Everybody has some form of fashion a Willie Lynch syndrome, bro. Some way, somehow. Whether you see it or you don't, you have it. All American citizens have it. America was built on that shit.
Towards each other in general, or like towards minorities? Like, what you mean? Just towards
within
each other?
Yourself. It's not
tall versus short, light versus dark, just the whole pit in the whole.
I mean, the whole thing from the bottom to the top, but it's like, even though it misses certain ethnicities, but they still have the syndrome. You feel me?
Right, I feel what you're saying.
It's a syndrome. You know what I'm saying? It got past that, and now it's kind of like seeped over to, you know, just everybody in a small fraction or some way, form, or fashion.
Try to share this joint.
But yeah, that's definitely, and then it was talking about trying to ban TikTok. I know we staying on the China situation a little bit, but then they was talking about they trying to ban TikTok in, I think it's Arkansas or Utah. Like, I don't know how that's gonna work, because that kind of
Wait, they're banning TikTok in just Arkansas and Utah.
It's either or. It's either Utah or Arkansas. I'm not 100% sure.
So you got your Wi-Fi just can't pick. It just can't pick it up.
Or it just might be some. So there's got to be a way where they could block that from hitting the server, because there has to be some kind of fence inside that realm of allowing things into, you know, the internet and being broadcasted. There has to be some kind of like gatekeeper at that. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna have to check and see what's what and who's what. And you TikTok, we don't allow you in this state. You got to go somewhere else. It's already you're not allowed.
Yeah, what's the name does that though? What's my shit? FanDuel and the other sports betting joint. I think it's FanDuel, and like I can't get that where I'm at. But then when I'm in Indiana, I could get it. I think when I was in Milwaukee, in certain states, you can just pick it up as soon as you open your joint up. It opens up. Here, it's no act like I don't even recognize what I'm typing in type joint.
And FanDuel is what? That's like a Google machine?
It's a sports betting platform.
Oh, okay.
They don't allow it in online betting and gambling isn't allowed in this state. So I can't even get this. When I got the app and I open it up, it's like it looks like it's dead almost, like it's a gray screen. It's like it don't even recognize, you know, and it says until you put in your location, I think, you know what I'm saying? Something like that. You put in your location. It says nah. But as soon as I get somewhere else, reset my phone and do it, it comes right open.
Yeah, so that means they got a fence around the state. They got a cyber fence around the state. You can't come in with that. You're not allowed in here with that. We taking that.
The way you put it is like,
yo, bro, we all stuck in the system, bro. And I know it sounds crazy. A lot of people like, yo, he's always talking about stuck in the system.
Yo, subscribe button, stuck in the system, man. Word.
Yeah. And you know, it's because everything that they did to us in corrections, juvenile, and all that, it's the same thing that they doing to average citizens out here in the world.
School, everything is beat. All that should be the same, bro. Like, yo, I used to work at the post office for some time, right? I always used to say the post office was just like jail in a certain way, right? Everybody used to always laugh at me. They used to always call me the dude from Shawshank Redemption. They used to always say I was that dude because I was always talking about leaving. I ain't staying here. I ain't gonna be here no longer than this amount of time. I ain't doing this like y'all niggas, right? So Andy Dufresne, that was his name. That was his name, Andy Dufresne. But when you there, it's like you in a little cubicle, right? You put the mail up, then they do the first bell. When the first bell come, you go sweep the mail, right? You sweep the mail, you come back to your case, you finish. That's like the first wave of mail. Then you can do it again. They do another bell. And then that bell, you go over here, you get this mail, right? After that bell goes, it's like it's all the post offices, right? So then after that, then they get the mail come, the other bucket mail come. Then you got to deal. Then you deal with that. Then they give the final bell. Now you get to tie your shit down, right? All of them are surrounded by barbed wire, right? All of them is in fortified buildings, right? All of them are like fortified, especially in New York. Like all of them are fortified buildings. They was made like that. I was in a couple of them in the sky. All the ones I was in was fortified. Got the barbed wire. You do 30 years. The time that you do is 30 years before you get to leave. It's just every day it's the same thing. The bell going, bell, first bell, second bell, third bell, final sweep, hit the streets, come back. It takes you every day 2 hours to do your route. If it takes you more, you fill out a grievance. If they tell you this is grievances and it's forms, if you need this, I can't just come to you as a supervisor and say, I need this. I gotta fill out the form, give you my ID, like you're in the bubble.
That's some jail shit. That's some listen. I need a razor. Yo, here's my ID.
But they call that the Reg cage, and the Reg cage has everything. In that cage is everything. You go to the Reg clerk, and the Reg clerk has a clipboard. Now you say, I need my certified mails. I need my mail key. You sign off for the mail key. You give them your ID. It's the same process, bro.
So let me ask you a question. When you hear that bell, like if you was to hear it now, would it change something in your brain and you'd be like, oh shit, a program? Oh.
Nah, I would laugh. I always would laugh then too. I was always a rebel, so I wasn't really moving for that bell. They always call my last name over the speaker. I'm like, yo, come get your stuff.
That's how you keep your liberties within yourself. Like for me, like when I hear keys, bro, like a certain sound of keys, I straighten up. Like, oh shit. I listen now. I'm like, oh, but them shits is close. Where they at? Like, I hear keys, you heard? And that's from young, bro. From like 13, I've been like that. Every time I hear keys, I know they doing their rounds, and I hear them shits jingling or they coming on account or whatever the case may be. So when I hear keys, even in the street, bro, I'm like, oh shit. You know what I mean? Like it fucks with you. That's why I had to ask you, because going through that for so many times a day, over and over and over, months and years, it does do something to you psychologically.
Yeah, I don't know if I had anything psychologically from that job that really stuck with me, because I was always kind of like the rebels, like not in a bad way, but like, you know what I mean? Like in the street, I felt comfortable because I was always in the hood. I was always in the mix with the people, always. You know how that goes. Mailman is always, yo, mailman, you know how to get to such and such? Yo, the checks came out for this check and the car fare check and this check. And I was just in my element there. So, it was always, I never really had no a couple of hairy experiences, a couple of wild fucking experiences, but I don't think anything really stuck with me from it though.
Yeah, because when you said that bell, man, the first thing I thought about was some keys. That one thing about jail, like even out here, like I could suppress everything that goes with the jail situation, and the feelings and the aura and the energy and all that. But them keys, man, no matter how hard I block it, them keys penetrate, bro.
Yo, last time we was on live, you had spoke about, I know it's a little switch over a little bit, but you was talking about the dude Superman in Fishkill. And I had called Ace, who was on the live. I was calling Ace because I know Ace had passed through there. And I had spoke to him shortly. He called like right after we got off the joint. Big up to Ace.
Shout out to Ace.
Yes, and I hit him and I said, yo, Superman, before I could even finish the sentence, he finished it. He was like 21. He said the same thing you said. He was like, yeah, man. He said the dudes was definitely
serial killers, bro. Yo. And what's crazy is, so on another note, we're gonna tie this in because I was talking around my phone, and I'm on, I got different social media that I'm running through and trying to figure out, specifically TikTok, right? So I'm going through my feed in TikTok, just scrolling through. Something comes up with a dude talking on a jail call. It's called Inside the Box Films. He's talking about Fishkill. It comes up. It says, "Yeah, when I was at Fishkill, and they killed my man." And matter of fact, I'm gonna play it for you right now, bro.
Play it.
And it's like, I'm like, yo, these things listen to you so crazily that they picking up key words. And when they picked up when I was talking about Fishkill and hanging and all that, this is what pretty much what came up. You heard?
I can't hear it.
Experience that I've had in prison, there's so many, but I just want to say, like, almost losing my life. That was crazy. And the other day, which was Monday, God bless him, Joseph Clark from Newburgh, which is the man that was with me in another jail, just came to Fishkill. And guess what? He's not here anymore, fellas. He is not here anymore. God bless you, bro. They said that you committed suicide. I don't think so, sir. I know what really happened, but
I got chills right now. You heard?
I'm still in this body. So, but every day that I see things like that, and I know that you could lose your life in here, and it's not promised to go home. It's scary, you know what I'm saying? Because I've been through those experiences where I've actually almost lost my life fighting for police. They're not feeding you. You having to be on water deprivation and drinking fucking water out the toilet. And I was just actually talking about this a little earlier. And, it's hard to stay sane in an insane environment, but you got to be.
Facts. Word.
Yeah.
And
That was in the same spot?
same spot, Fishkill. And I don't know this dude. I don't know. I'm from a can of paint, bro. And I was talking to you on here, and
That's crazy.
on my feed, this came up on my feed, bro.
That's crazy, bro.
Yeah, that's why I be saying, yo, they listen to everything, bro. They scanning everything that's in your room, everything that your camera can see, bro. They're taking data from that, whether it's good or bad, and they're gonna try to put it back or recycle it to you, or try to manipulate for you to either be a consumer or an absorber of ideologies. You feel me?
Yeah, I feel you.
So it's like, when it comes to that fish skill shit, man, like I ain't never been scared much going through the system, bro. You know what I'm saying? But the one thing that I always worried about, and the only thing that really made me nervous, and I had to walk in a straight line and stay under the radar,
With the keys?
was them keys, man. Yo, from young, I got my tooth knocked out in Tryon, bro. Like, they you know,
You
they
said
give you.
you got your tooth knocked. That was that the incident. Wasn't that like a guard or something like that did that?
Yeah, it was a staff of YDA, Oliver Twist. Those who know, man. They call him Oliver, him and his brother. One worked Elmwood, one worked Briarwood. I was in Briarwood after I left Elm. And they wore shorts all year round, trucker hats and flannel shirts with shotguns in the back of their pickup truck right in the window, you heard. So you already know what time they was on. You know,
How far up is that from the city?
That's in Johnstown, New York. They closed Tryon. They closed all DFY and all group homes from back in the day because of all the things that happened there, and they pretty much burying everything that happened. You heard? And they had to pass out settlements to a lot of kids that were abused or neglected or mistreated in those places. So in order to get rid of any more kind of situations that might arise or come out the woodworks, they just demolished all of them shits. So it's a new program. But when I was there, man, them staff definitely had things in line, man. And you knew that from coming up from Spofford and Crossroads and the boat and all that. They let it's not like the way it is down here. It's not like that up there. Them crackers you get left up there. And I learned this from young, bro. 13. Like, don't go up there acting the way you acting down here, getting it popping with police and all that, they will leave you. And that's what you learn. Like if somebody really cares about you or really wants to see you do right, or try to get your shit together, they gonna tell you the same thing, especially as a youngin. Yo, don't go up there on no Coney Island shit. But that's the first thing you learn, man. But Oliver Twist, yeah, he was on some real, redneck shit, from Bush or whatever. I talk a certain way. I was heavy into my Dean, got my Quran. Once they saw that, man, it was a green light for me, man. It was over. So, they hoovered my shit, got the rug burn, all that, fucked me up. So I try to get back at him. I try to, run down on him, poke him up and all that, but it didn't go the way it should have. He had his partner with him. They took me and knocked my shit out. I was in a box for like 3 days before they pulled the rest of my tooth out. And then from there, I went to Harlem Valley. And Harlem Valley was one of the sweetest spots. And every other place that I was...
This joint look like a prison, though, bro.
What's that?
Hold up. I'm looking at this. As you talking, I'm reading this article. As you talking, I'm looking at these pictures. This is the Briarwood Cottage bathroom.
Yeah, that's where I was at. Real talk. That's that. And they wasn't wearing uniforms back in the day. They was wearing regular clothes. Like I don't know when they started wearing a uniform and all that, especially in a medium. You heard? Because China's a medium. But
shit like a prison, bro.
It is a prison, bro. That right there. I used to see that shit during the winter, bro. It's one of the most beautiful things that you could see. You had to walk all the way from your cottage all the way to the mess hall. You heard? And these dudes was wearing shorts and flannels. You heard? On a walkway, walking from the cottage all the way to the mess hall. You heard?
So
that's like school, but that's also that's how they had the box and all that. Like that's what you wear. Like you get. I ain't never had no yellow joints, but they give you the Converse or the black Wolverine joints, the boots and all that. You wear your khakis and your reds and all that. Like you get three red shirts, long short sleeve polo, and then you get 3 khakis, 3 underwear, 3 shirts, 3 socks, and 2 pair of sneakers, one for sneakers, and then one you get the Chucks, and then you get a pair of boots.
So this right here is a typical room, or is this a box?
That's the cell. That's your cell right there.
Everybody got a solo cell?
Yeah, you can't sleep on your bed. You can't lay down, bro. You come in there. If you laying down, they do a walk by. You getting fucked up, bro. You better sit in that chair just like that. All day.
What you mean, though? Like, you can't go to sleep at night, or you talking about in the daytime?
Oh, daytime. Anytime program hours. Because, so what happens there when I was there, we ain't never really go to school like that, bro. Like, we was in our cells most of the day, bro. Like, we was in here just like that. You heard? He's got a lot going on in himself. That's a lot. I had the bare minimum. I had no packages. Ain't nobody was coming to see me. Like, my shit was bare. I had maybe like a book or something. But this is what it is. You sit there all day, bro. Either you pacing your cell or you doing push-ups or you sitting down and you just thinking, bro. All fucking day, bro. All day. All day.
You think that thought process and thinking, you think that's helpful to when people think about, or think it just makes people more angry?
Well, for me, right? Like I was there. There's a lot of kids in there that was going through a lot of things. Like we was all the same age, like 13, you know what I'm saying, 14. And it wasn't our first rodeo. This is something that we've been conditioned to really accept because Crossroads and the Barge and Horizons and all that, even the group home, man, it sets you up to really like be integrated on a level where it really don't. Because if you do anything too rapidly, you know what I'm saying, you might break down. But all of us, we've been conditioned because, slowly but surely things have been implemented on that stage anyways. You know what I'm saying? So when we finally got there, it's like, it was kind of like a rites of passage for us, to be honest with you, bro. Like if I'm gonna keep it all the way a buck, bro, like we knew that we was going to end up in a system. Like we knew we was going to end up getting locked up. Like I said before, man, like me and my little crew is like, my man made it to Spofford first. When he came back, he was talking shit like, yo, I did my thing. Ain't nobody did nothing. So, us not being there, and him being the first one, or when I go, I'm not with nothing. And that's the mindset we had from young. It wasn't, we going to school. I never went to school when I was in the street. I ain't had the clothes, the food, the energy. It was just bad for me. So I'd rather be in the street. So, there was no real other thing other than, we eventually bound to end up in the system. And when we do, we're gonna be gladiators. I know that sounds crazy, but that's the way we was raised.
Word. I don't understand how that's not traumatizing, but I guess when you growing up and you living in the boiling, bubbling pot, you know what I'm saying? It's only a couple of ways things gonna get cooked. You know what I mean? It's either gonna get soft or it's gonna get hard. So, it's like an egg and a potato. You know what I mean? You put it in the same thing. So it's all about what we made out of. I was gonna say, how do people even like this shit is 15, I see some of this stuff and the way things be moving now, I wouldn't want to go. I wouldn't want to be there right now. I tell you that I'm trying to find these images. Some images that are old. I know you could probably remember these old buildings.
What's that, Harlem Valley? Oh, Spofford.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, shout out to B2 Ballers, man. Lead Dog, Peacock. They was a staff in there, man. They was real right, man. They, even though they toughened us up, and they got us in a zone of don't take no shit, and fight nights and all that craziness, working out and all that. They definitely prepared the ones that was going up top to DFY. Yeah, they definitely schooled us and definitely gave us the ins and outs and kind of put us in a position to really understand what was going on, man, because they ain't had to spend all that time with us. Like, they sat down and talked with us. Like, they really sat down.
These are two individuals?
Two staff, yeah. Lee Dog, he had B2. They called it B2 Ballers. So, like, the houses used to, like, the staff used to, like, kind of have, like competitions where we would do the step and all that. We would go to the gym and it would be house against house on some step and shit. But, like, every house had its own name. Like, B2 Ballers was Lee Dog's house. Like, Lee was the main steady there. Like, that was his house, and he made sure that shit ran right. You know what I'm saying? It was a lot of us. We was out of control, but we all had that. Oh shit, Shep, and he was with the shits all the way. You know what I'm saying? And it's not often that you come around people like that, especially Peacock, man. Peacock was a good dude too, man. Definitely a good staff. He definitely was on our side, even though he worked on in the juvenile detention and Spofford and all that. He definitely dropped some jewels, man. He definitely looked out for those who had a place in his heart, man.
Yeah, what's going on? What's going on here, you think?
Who's that, Crossroads? Oh no, that's DFY.
This picture right here. It look like these two uniforms is what?
Yeah, that's inmate. He might be flipping a staff. That look like a staff pants or something. Because that's not what you call it. That's not uniform.
Is there anything learned? I understand as adults maybe might need a little more punishment because as an adult, when your brain functions, you kind of know better. I'm not saying that people need cruel and harsh punishment, but jail is jail. On a juvenile level, what do you think is learned, or what do you think needs to be learned, or what is the path that they need to implement to learn so that we could learn from these situations? Because this looks like regular jail, bro. I see.
It is regular jail.
Highland got all this barbed wire and all this.
And I ain't never go to Highland, and Highland was maximum security too. Like that, Highland, Harlem Valley, and McCormick were all maximum secures for the DFY. It's different. Like, it was a different respect level in the maxes because the staff there know. They not playing, you know what I'm saying? They'll really hurt you.
Let's put this in perspective, though, bro. You say it's a different respect level. We're talking about 13-year-olds. We're talking about DFY. We're talking about children. You know what I'm saying? Like pre-pubescent. Like, you know what I'm saying? This isn't like, what are we talking about here?
We talking about you gotta step up and get with the program and become a man before you, because Ain't no kitty shit, bro. Like back then, there was no like everybody was going through something real. The crack epidemic made motherfuckers grow up super duper quick, bro. Like there's no room for error or any kind of fuck shit. You know what I'm saying?
How did you say that before? Like a lot of people you was in there with in your age bracket, there was a lot of crack babies.
Yeah, we all around the same age, man. All our parents was on fucking drugs, bro. That you know that was the time. Like that's a time in the world in history that is like nobody's really gonna be able to understand that unless you actually went through it or actually felt the effects of that shit firsthand. You know what I'm saying? It's different looking from the outside looking in, like, oh yeah, you know, crack Jamaica was bad. But when you were inside the shit of the shit in the mud and the stuck in a fucked up situation, you see things totally different. It's survival now. It's not observing. It's, yo, how do I make this shit work? How do I figure this shit out? This thing called life. How do I figure it out with nobody's help but my own fucking common sense or you know, whatever's guiding me and protecting me is on a journey with me, you know. But other than that, you got to figure it out real quick. I ain't had no childhood, bro. I ain't had no childhood. Bikes was like my childhood, bro. And I was stealing them shits like they was nothing. You heard? I'd have a new bike every single day.
It's funny you say that, man, because somebody had hit me. Somebody hit me recently and said that they have brought you up in a conversation on another live. You just said that and had me bugging. I thought they was bugging. You said that just now, and it was like, yeah, because I know you was on a live with your boy, and he was like, he was working since he was 11. He was grinding or something like that. He was on the grind since he was 11. I was like, he said that? I didn't remember the conversation. I had to go back. I just thought about it just now when you said that.
Yeah, like that construction shit, like that shit was
right.
heavy.
It was a construction joint.
So you know, a lot of the dudes that was in the hood, like you know, Brian Shot, a lot of them dudes, you know, they always stayed on the construction shit. Like I always seen them working, and that was another thing that helped me with my work ethic too. You know what I'm saying? Because I was fucked up, bro. You know what I'm saying? There was times where I ain't had no money for a quart of water. You feel me? Like I ain't had no money for a sandwich. Like it was bad, bro. Like bad, like just bad. You know what I'm saying? So when the older heads, they saw me and I was just, you know, running around doing wild shit, doing nothing, just getting into trouble. Yo, come pull these bags. And I'm, you know, I'm young. I just want to be strong, and I'm angry, and I'm pulling bags all day, bro. And they like, yo, he don't stop. Like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? And I wouldn't get much, you know what I'm saying? Because I didn't really understand the value of money back in the day. So it's like, I got some food. I can go get a little cap gun, fuck around and do some other shit. You know what I'm saying? I was happy for the day.
I'm looking here. They were set to close 4 juvenile centers in New York. It was a plan. And it says here, Goshen Secure Center in Orange.
That's for the sexual deviant children.
But they closed. Damn, they got a whole center for sexual deviant children. Is that many sexual deviant?
It's not a lot of them, but they got a special program in Highland that's specifically just for those fuckers.
Well, this is Goshen Center in Orange County, Columbia Girls Secure Center in Columbia County, Red Hook Residential Center in Dutchess County, and Brentwood Residential Center in Suffolk County. All
girls.
Nah, I think just that one. I don't know if Goshen. I don't think Goshen is girls for sure, but I know that.
Nah, Goshen is male, and it's got the sex offender program.
Yeah, they got the Columbia Girls Secure Center, Columbia. That's closing down. And the funny thing is, you know, while I'm sitting here kind of speed reading through this, it seems like the basis of this article is talking about the 321 members from the Public Employees Federation and Civil Service. Like, you know what I mean? Like they talk about the positions and the 260 full-time workers, and it clearly says there is no plan outlined for what they're going to do with the residents. You know what I'm saying?
So what happens, you got to remember, like, even with the adults, corrections is the industry of that town.
Of course. Anywhere upstate New York, for sure.
Is their industry. You know what I mean? Because if you took away the jails, what jobs would, and you got to remember that these jobs right here, the salary takes care of 3-4 people in a family. You know what I mean? If they even doing that much, but it does circulate a lot of revenue within the community. You know what I mean? So it's always going to be rents. But if you were to take out the corrections, the facilities and all that, what is it that they have to offer, right? And what is their industry going to be? Because right now it's just legal slave trade. You feel me? So if they didn't have that, what
But
would they have as jobs?
I get that. You know what
And
I'm
then,
saying?
by them not having those jobs, they would be the criminal. You feel me?
I get that, but I guess one thing I'm just looking at, like, does that mean that crime is down? Because we still got, for if it's 300, how many inmates to one guard in jail?
So there's usually two for adolescents. It's 2 staff for every 12 bodies, if I remember correctly.
So that's 321 times 12, correct?
But each unit should hold about 28.
I'm saying we're just doing the math for the guards. They complain about that. I'm looking at how much displaced, you know what I'm saying? How many displaced residents there are in these facilities. So that's times 12, right? So that's 321 times 100. That's 3,000. That's 3,800. 3,852. That's how many displaced. I get the job situation. Don't get me wrong. I know people got to eat, but this is 300. This is 3,800. Some of you saying these are sex offender juveniles. Like, that's crazy.
So the thing with
crime is going down.
No, crime is coming back up. So this is why they're changing and shifting everything around, because crime was down before the pandemic. So if you notice, like, they're about to open up a lot of facilities and they're about to open up a lot of programs to regenerate that money, because as you can see, there's a big influx of youth. Whether people want to acknowledge it or,
was having mad babies or something. What was going on?
Yeah, no. So for me, right, and I always pay attention, and I see, you could tell, the senses. Well, I can anyways, because when you in the system, you always checking the senses subconsciously. You know what I'm saying? Who's in the house, who's not in the house, who's coming, who's going. Yeah, but so you always trying to figure out and creating ratios and putting people. You know what I mean? So in the street, it's kind of the same thing. I personally have never seen this much youth in my life. There's an influx of youth right now from like early 90s, like kind of influx, where right now a lot of these kids, like I've been saying, they're gonna shore the system for the next 25 years, bro. And I hate to say it, but that's what's happening. And then what they're doing is they're making a lot of room and they're creating new facilities to take on these bodies, right? But the program is going to be different. It's a different psychological aspect and an emotional aspect. They're big on medication and mental health right now. Everybody is classified with something. Before, it was just a personality through time and temperament of why a person is the way they are. Now they're classifying everybody with autism, bipolar, schizo, all this craziness. Everybody's going to be in a class. So when it comes to the social credit score, they'll be able to put you in your perspective pens.
Ain't gonna be no why me pen. It's gonna be the respective pen.
Yeah, whatever you identify with is where you go.
All right. This is look at some crime stats. You talking about? You said that with the juveniles. Let me pull it up. 2023, we down one murder, I guess. For the month.
When was this? When was this last updated?
This is fresh, right? This is the NYC.
February 3rd, 2023.
Yeah, that's why it's just showing January. Fresh, fresh off. This is fresh off the top of the year. 30 bodies.
So murders is about the same. You got to remember, there's been an influx since 2019. Like 2020 is
that's high though. That's high. That's 30. That's out the gate. That's one a day for the month of January. January got 31 days in it. That's still. And
what's crazy is the way we doing this right here. Dudes do this in jail, bro. We do this in jail. Yo, there's been 5 cuttings so far this year. It's only February. Yo, there's been fucking 30 cuttings this year. It's only fucking March. You know what I mean?
Let's go down to we're not gonna skip over that. You know what I'm saying? That's down, but that shit is crazy.
Burglaries is up, something crazy.
But
Felony assault is out of control.
And robbery is up.
Yeah, because you got to remember.
That's 1 month.
1 month. So you got January, February, March, April. We about to be in May. Let's go back to that real quick. I want to see something. You'll go up a little bit. So felony assault is up, right? Rape is but it seems like there's a lot more.
That's 132 rapes in 1 month, bro. That's disgusting.
I don't want to get. I don't really want to look at the numbers like that because then it starts. I start getting angry at shit. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to take it that. It's personal, but I don't want to get to the point where I start. It starts affecting me. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I looked over it like that. But eventually that shit is gonna come up too, because it seems like there's a lot of sexual deviants that run around doing some wild craziness. So I don't see that lowering. I actually see that going up. Because mental health is like big now. I don't know. So, they're going to tie that into that shit some way, somehow too. And the only thing that's really the same is the murders. Everything else is kind of like, and the rape. Everything else is pretty much up and down.
That's 10,000 crimes in 1 month. That's a lot of crime, bro. Transit, I don't know what they mean by that. I guess
anything to do with transit, whether it be fair rating, assaults, all kind, that kind of shit. Housing, same kind of thing, I guess.
What's this? It says the rape incident report.
Jeez.
Yeah, this is rough. Like, what is this? Hold up. No disrespect. I don't want to seem insensitive, but you know what I'm saying? It's a little certain stuff be a little bit much. Like for me to
comprehend and digest at one time. It's a lot.
As a mother lover, as a what I'm saying, as a just a man.
Those people have a special place, and bring them behind the shed. That's what I say. You know what I mean? That's just me though, respectfully.
So everybody's hating on Asians. Two of them got washed up. Oh, I didn't even see the jiu-jitsu down at the bottom. They always got their number looking crazy, 21, 22.
Who's that?
The Jews. Why don't we playing? They playing with the Muslims out here in the street.
Nah, yeah, you saw that 0 0 0 0 0. Donuts.
They out here playing with the Muslims, yo. Stop playing.
Nah, you gotta remember, man. Like, yo, come on. If you do something to me, I'm gonna do something back. You know what I mean? And that's fair. You know what I'm saying? And that makes motherfucker think twice. You know what I mean? Yeah. Everybody else is turn the other cheek, pray and listen, man.
Do something eye for an eye over here.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. What's the name? Yeah, man. I'm gonna look this over, man. Chop it up, do what you do. I think we got a little piece of this algorithm, see what they was talking about. I could start this day, there's some ripping and running going on.
Yeah, I would like to do a little segment on that whole thing with Fishkill and really get in depth of.
Let me get Ace on the line. See if we can do something a little later, but he don't get off until like 7 or 8, I think. So.
Yo, bro, I'm for whatever. We could do it on a late night. We could do it on a 12 o'clock tip, 11 o'clock tip.
We're gonna do that. I'm about to call him right now.
Because that right there, I feel is super important, man. Because it'll definitely, like I said, man, them dudes are serial killers, bro. And they got a squad of them in almost every jail, bro. Like real talk, the beat up squad, they got bodies under their belt, and I'm pretty sure they got their own covenant and their own goddamn, lessons and ideologies and mottos and creeds and all that. Like it's real over there. Like I know killers, bro.
I'm saying, can we? I'll just text him. I want to do this, but I want to get some names, man. I know my other man. He always talk about the dude that got the baby on the noose. On his arm.
He's known. That right there, I don't even know his name, but I just know
Clinton or something like that.
Clinton or Attica, one of the two. I know Clinton, Attica, or maybe even Elmira. I know Clinton, Attica, and Elmira, they got the ultimate cracker killer, suicide
I want to talk about that, man. I want to talk about that. I'm gonna call up some heavy hitters, man, that been through these spots and talk about this abuse, because that's abuse, bro. Like we always quick to be talking about these stories about where inmate on inmate, convict on convict, and the things we do to each other, but it's really only one op. You know what I'm saying? Supposed to be at least. So I think that blowing up they abuse, and, you know what I'm saying? Maybe
that's what matters, bro. That yo, bro. Anybody else doing anything other than that and really trying to expose what really is happening and trying to change the oppression factor.
Do you know that dude's name? The guard?
I can't remember, but anybody who's been there, bro, anybody who's been a Fishkill knows fucking Superman, bro. He's got a weird last name, and his fucking wife works the yard, and it's a fucking, I'm telling you, it's a psychotic team of these motherfuckers, bro. They all fuck with each other, bro, and they all know what's going on, and you will get lost and you will die. One dude fell down the steps and cracked his neck. You know what I'm saying? Now we all know, he was coming from the box, bro. Like that, anybody in a right mind, whether you have mental health or not, bro, you will fucking get in line and you will act accordingly, bro. And you will fucking walk the line, bro. And push you, they would, you know what I'm saying? There's only so much you can do unless you're ready to fucking die. And if you handcuffed, that's not very smart. I'm just you're gonna have to go with it, bro. Like, what can you do? You know what I'm saying? So for you to just fall down the steps, or that's not what happened, bro. That they inflicted some kind of a real harsh wrath. And that's what they do. I'll never forget it, bro. When I went to the 21 AR for the first time and they threw me on that wall, bro, they G-checked the shit out of me, word. Like, all the way. What you doing out here? What are you coming here for? There better not be no situations in my yard. I'm talking about hands on, like gloves on, hands behind the belt, in your back. If he wanted to, he could. And the rest of his crew is gonna jump on your shit, and you're gonna be done. Nobody's gonna say nothing. Everybody's gonna go back to working out and watch TV, and just be like, "Damn, they got another one." And that's what happens. Because if you try to do any kind of bucking or write a grievance or write Albany, you're dead.
Yeah, you can't do that. You start writing grievances and calling Albany.
It's not even gonna get to grievance, bro. It's not even gonna get there. Try to write a letter. It's never gonna make it to anywhere, bro. You might as well not even put a stamp on it. There's no point. That's what they do, and that's their creed and their motto. You know what I'm saying? They're deviants, and they're serial killers, bro. Like hardcore, bro. Like I'm not scared of much, bro. But that situation in there,
shit different.
You don't know, because if they get a liking to you, or you make them aroused in some kind of way, if you arouse them in any form, or fashion, bro, and they like you, and I don't mean in a good way, you know what I'm saying? You better hope you go in the draft, man. You better hope something. You better hope medical something. You know what I mean? Because you want to get off. You want to get off their radar. You know what I mean? But once they got it for you, you're good as dead.
All right, man. Let me touch base with these cats. She was good for later. She was Captain Chopper, man.
You already know.
It's always real, bro.
Always.
Yes, sir.